Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a chat with Kwitsi. So, how'd you like me? So today I went to this event in town. They were hosting Mpumile Dwaba, and I knew I couldn't miss it for the world. So, I asked her a question. Geez, I just dove straight into it. I asked her a question because when she was speaking, she kept on talking about, I'm not an overly religious person, contrary to popular belief, because she talks about God a lot, she's Christian and stuff. And so I asked her a question and said, you keep talking or referring to not being overly religious. What does it mean to you? Like, I asked her, were you ever overly religious? Because once you're a Christian, it's easy to fall into being super religious, And so I asked her, was she ever like that? When did she stop? And what does she think the impacts of being religious are, So it got me to thinking about that topic for this evening. So we are on the 12th day of 100 nuggets of wisdom, right? So so she answered that there was a point maybe like 10 years ago where she would never go to church wearing pants, and but she said she encountered God in a big way at one point when she wasn't in a, what can I say, in a super holy place or whatever. She says, like, if that thing were to put on, if God were to put that on a billboard, it would just be like really, really bad, Like she was saying, like it's even something she can't even tell us, a situation where she can't tell us, but she was in that type of situation, and yet God spoke to her, or something like that. And she was talking, when she talked about how being religious is destructive, she talked about how, how even certain religions, like they start wars, or religions start wars and things like that, it's being mentally religious, for me, she talked about it on a broad scale, on a really global scale, or things like that, and for me, I find it really like catastrophic to be religious, because it's just I don't know if I should say it religion almost lies to you. Because because you're not listening to your intuition, it's a culture, you know what I mean? For example, this maybe not wearing pants and doing certain things religiously, and you just think that it means something to God, you think it means something to God, and therefore he will reward you, and I feel it destroys us, because we can stay years on end without getting the reward that we are told at, like, churches, for example, at church, really, and you stay expecting things that are never going to come, because in the first place, God never said do those things, So I just noticed she was like not an overly religious person. She's Christian. She prays. She has a very strong relationship with God. Listens to the voice of God and all, But she doesn't like conform to what is being said that we must conform to in order to be right, Um, so I just wish we could consider things like this. I wish um, Christians, just for your own sake, and I think it's very hard to break out of a religious mindset because, for starters, you don't know that you have a religious mindset a lot of times. Um, you just go with the flow and believe what everybody else is preaching to be right. And sometimes you don't get the time. Yeah, she talked about like the quiet time you spend time. You better. It's important to spend time with God because when you do, you'll be shocked. You can't rely on church to tell you what God said. You can't rely on the pastor because most likely God is gonna tell the pastor about his personal life. Sometimes for the church, but it's too general and it's not specific for you. Like people always say, the greatest prophet of your life is your own self. So when you are quiet before God, listening, when you decide that you're going to hear Him concerning your life, and I know we don't always get it right. We don't always hear the voice of God. I mean, it's difficult. We always have those questions like, how do I know for sure that this is God and not just my own thinking or my own thoughts? It's not so straightforward, right? Because even that can crush us when you feel like you've really heard God. I think for perfectionist people, I think such as maybe myself, you can really get crushed if you felt like God was leading you this way and it did not work. Because you're like, so now where is God really? So I've been lying to myself, only to find out maybe you don't know a certain principle that says, I don't know, God can, like, it doesn't have to end perfectly. I don't know, you know what I mean? So, but what is my trail of thought? But yeah, religion can really, it can rob you of a lot, because if religion, for example, says you must not wear pants, you go to a church that says you can't wear pants, you can't wear this type of hair, and let's say you can't wear this type of hair, only for God to want you to be a model, maybe your purpose, even though she spoke about purpose in a way, wow, that I've never heard before. Maybe you feel your calling or purpose is to be a model. Next thing you can't, because like at modeling they're gonna put this hair on you, or you are born to be an athlete, and now you are a girl and you are not allowed to wear pants at your church. So religion is a huge bondage. Let's tell the truth, guys. Religion is a huge bondage. I mean, it can destroy even relationships. For example, you can go to a church that says you mustn't hold hands with guys, or you mustn't kiss, or all these sometimes things that are thrown into our faces from a religious perspective. And you find that they fail us because we don't question things. I don't really I'm not trying to always be quoting Bumi, but she did say like she's decided to have this really open mindset and question a lot of things. And yeah, guys, don't be afraid to have an open mind. Don't be afraid to have an open mind. Don't be afraid to question how things have always been done, because it will really set you free.